Yep, one trick kingdom. But is it really that simple? This kingdom is often considered a break between sand and wooded. As you get better, you will start realizing that that's not true. These are my recommendations for strats fitting your skill level. I'm Danster, and this is Change of Pace for Lake Kingdom.
Climbing out of the trenches, reaching for higher heights.
Chasing me along, all I want is you when we was chasing time.
Well, I am the boss, I am the Don, I am the one they call.
I ain't got much to explain though. But then I was running for bangos. I was still minimum wage though.
If you haven't watched the introduction video, make sure to check it out to understand how this series works. As a quick summary, there will be different strats for different skill levels. The lower ones will be the base for the higher ones. If you're feeling confident though, that you already know the strats for a pace, feel free to check the timestamps to find the skill level that fits you best. Now, let's get moving.
I'm just a kid with a glimmer of hope. I'm just a kid with a kid and potential to glow.
We are going to start with movement for runners who have a 104 or 105 PB and are trying to get their sum of best down to around 103 flat. Once the screen is black after skipping the final cutscene, hold towards this direction and start rolling. You won't bonk on the light of the Odyssey, so try to cut the corner as close as possible. Then aim towards the ground pound spot. Stop boosting, jump and spawn the moon. Right before collecting it, throw Cappy towards this corner and hold him out. Afterwards, walk into him to get a vault. Do a cap dive at the peak, then cap throw and dive. Roll boost twice and jump over the Goombas. Double jump close to the edge, do a cap throw towards the zipper and home in. Make sure that you don't do the throw too close to the wall, as that will cancel it. After unzipping, dive to the left. Do 3 boosts and then, while keeping your momentum, run around the corner and jump. Cap throw, dive, walk around the corner, jump and dive. Then capture the fish and boost into the moon. For efficient fish movement, you always want to take straight lines to your next destination. Boosting with Y and B lets you reach maximum speed earlier, but won't increase your speed afterwards. Most runners only do it to keep their hands busy. Make sure you learn how to cut corners though, because that's actually faster with a boost. Swim towards the pillar and activate the moon. Then boost down and collect it. During this moon cutscene, it is possible to turn the camera, so you want to turn it upwards to make the next part easier. Now, aim for this platform and jump out of the water right in front of it. Then uncapture, wall jump and cap throw into the flower. It's easy to drop an input when Cappy hits things, so either be really fast with your dive or delay it a little bit to prevent falling down again. Cap throw and dive when you're high enough and enter the fight. Once the screen is black, do a quick jump and dive. Double jump and dive onto Rango. Grab some coins and get ready for the next phase. When Rango hides under his head, backflip onto him, then ground pound, jump and cap throw at the peak. It can be helpful to aim for the right side of his head, as the hitbox appears to be higher there. Afterwards, simply repeat the same movement for the third phase. Also, a handy way of grabbing all the coins with a single spin throw is this. Keep in mind to do it rather late, since the spin throw can get eaten by the Rango hit if you do it too early. Now, spam the cap throw button and cap dive once you hear it coming out. That will happen as soon as the moon starts floating downwards. To globe, hold left, jump, cap throw and home in. You can also do the jump shortly before the screen switches once you have a feeling for the right timing. With the covered strats, I recommend going for at least a 259 gold in order to reach our target sum of best of 103 flat. If you feel like this was too easy for you, it's time to give you a slightly bigger challenge.
When the time is right, then you should make a move. Hope it ain't taboo.
This pace is for runners with a target SOB of around 101 flat, which I recommend for a PB of 102 or 103. To anticipate the question, no, you're not ready for leg clip. Well, you might be, but leg clip is such an annoying trick that can easily kill a run that you will be thankful to not have it recommended in this pace. Consistency in runs is more valuable than a 7-second time save. At least that's what I think. If you want to play the Rebel, go and watch the next pace as well, but don't pretend I didn't warn you. The first change for this pace is a simple spin pound after the first moon. Not much to explain, but it's faster, so do it. Now try to roll past the Goombas. Optimally you can do 4 roll boosts, but as that can feel pretty tight, you might have an easier time with 3 for now. Then single jump and do a homing throw. After the moon, cap throw and dive to the right, then do a spin pound. Before hitting the surface, hold neutral so you dip underwater immediately. Capture the fish and boost into the moon. A small note on capturing things underwater: for some reason Cappy homes in faster if you do a motion control cap throw, so if you're consistent in doing them, you can try doing so. And actually, now there's only one more change for this pace. We want to skip this wall jump. Coming from the pillar moon, timing some boosts and counting them can make it easier to identify how close you are to the water surface. Doing 3 of them works really well. Shortly before you hit the surface, stop going upwards so you end up swimming on top of it. When you're close enough to the platform, hold B to get a high jump out of the water, then uncapture and dive towards the flower. Roll into it and you should get launched. Cap throw, dive and roll into the arena. With these improvements, you can go for a gold of 255. If you decided to be a rebel a few minutes ago, or if you're just enthusiastic about learning more about Lake, I have good news for you. Here's another change of pace.
Hurry up quick, El Jefe's coming soon. Sit up straight when she enters the room.
Welcome back, rebels, and welcome runners with a PB of 100 and 101. Now we are going to have a look at strats for a target sum of best of 59 flat. In Cap, we already learned how to buffer spin punts through cutscenes. This also works when you enter a kingdom. Here in Lake, it can be quite helpful to get the correct angle more consistently. After passing the light of the Odyssey, roll boost twice and buffer a spin punt to spawn the moon. Now let's move on to the infamous trick that makes people hate this kingdom. At some point it's hard to ignore the time save, and 101 is a good time to start going for it in my opinion. So Lake Clip, where do I begin? First of all, make sure you have the camera in the right position. While moving from the moon to the right, turn it all the way left. It will get blocked at some point, and that's when it is in the position that allows for the easiest setup. Now move into the corner of the corridor and line Mario up so this corner splits his shadow in half. Crouching while moving there can help, but there are also people who do it without. Lake Clip is a lot about getting the right feeling for everything, so find out what is most comfortable for you. The correct spot is really precise, but when you think you got it, jump against the back wall, and once Mario starts sliding, hold neutral on the left stick and throw Cappy. This is the most crucial part, and there are a couple of scenarios that you can be confronted with. And unfortunately, a lot of these scenarios mean that you missed Lake Clip. Haha, fun trick. Better luck next time. If Cappy doesn't clip through the wall and goes left or right of it, you missed Lake Clip. In that case, just move further left or right depending on where Cappy went and do the wall slide again. If Cappy clips but Mario's shadow is slightly too far left, you will get a fake clip. So Mario won't clip. Identifying fake clips is hard, and even with practice, runners struggle to tell them apart from real clips. But either way, you will have to reset up when getting one. Then there's the opposite scenario where Cappy clips but Mario's shadow is slightly too far right. In this case, you will get the weird clip, is how I like to call it. This means you will get the clip, but it feels different from the normal way, as instead of getting a vault, you will get a cap jump as Mario is in the air when hitting Cappy instead of the floor. This can sometimes mess with your movement afterwards. So this definitely is not the scenario you're necessarily aiming for either. And finally, there's the case where Cappy clips and Mario's shadow is in the correct position. This is perfect. What do you do next? After Cappy returns, throw him again and roll into him. Make sure you're holding neutral on the left stick as you do this. Once you get the vault, throw Cappy in this direction and ground pound shortly after. The timing for this is quite precise. If you ground pound too late, you will clip back in bounds and have to reset up. If you ground pound too early, however, you will bathtub. You will land in the water below, and you pretty much have 2 options then. 1. Capture the Cheep Cheep and go for the Rango route, or 2. Reset. To prevent that, it's important you get the right timing for the ground pound into your muscle memory and fix the issue as soon as possible whenever you lose your feeling for that part. Alright, so if you got that part, what do you do next? Well, this trick is so much fun that we are still not done with all the stuff that can go wrong. Now, we have to maneuver around the weird collision that tries to push you back in bounds. Ground pound jump and at the same time move Mario first to the left and then forward. Explaining the correct stick angles is hard, but you can get an idea from the input display. Just like the other parts, this is about getting a feeling for it too. Leg clip is so much about intuition, it's really important you feel confident in it before doing it in runs. So, are we finally done with the stuff that can go wrong? Nope. But to be fair, the worst part is over and done with. Cap dive, stall, and wall jump around here. This line is a nice indicator. Up throw, dive forward, and home in to grab the checkpoint. Even though this is the easier part of leg clip, never underestimate it. If you don't get the right spot on the wall, you won't get a wall jump. And if you don't focus on your motion controls, you might not get an up throw or not home into the checkpoint. As you probably realized, there are approximately 1 million things that can go wrong. This was my TED talk on why leg clip sucks. Thanks for having me. Now, hold forward on the dive until you're hitting the water surface, then hold neutral until Mario starts sinking. Ground pound around here and keep holding ZL or ZR so you will reach deeper. After opening the chest, collect the moon and warp to the checkpoint you just collected. Buffer a spin throw and dive. If you buffer a cap throw after a warp, you will do it mid-air so you don't have to jump before diving. When collecting the moon, you can also slightly turn the camera so you can dive in a better direction immediately. Roll boost twice and over the little railing. Turn towards the wall and ground pound above the chasm. Then just press the cap throw button when you're in front of the moon and you should swim into it. Now do a counterclockwise spin throw or a simple homing throw to capture the Cheep Cheep. If you use Joy-Cons, you can also land on the water surface and down throw to capture the fish. Then collect the moon. Afterwards, start swimming towards Dory. In order to take a straight line to the moon, aim for this glowing part on the dome. During the Pillar Moon cutscene, turn the camera towards the dome entrance, swim towards it, and shortly before going through, insta-dive out of the Cheep Cheep and towards here. Roll boost 3 times and long jump. Walk around the corner and talk to the NPC. For the warp, there is a helpful visual cue to tell you when to warp. You will be able to press minus once the text from the moon animation completely disappears. Now just spin throw and glow. With these strats, I recommend aiming for a 248 gold. You reach that and feel like you can do better? This next change of pace might interest you.
I'm human, I know when I fuck up, I'm feeling defiant. Salt in my wound, feel the burns from the tears that I'm crying.
Fellow leg clip enjoyers and Subaru runners, this is for you. Here are some strats that will help you to push for a SOB of 58 flat. Make sure you got the previous stuff down though, before looking for ways to spice it up. A minor change is removing this cap throw before the dive. It's important that you cut the corner tightly when you get the vault, so you're close enough. Then try to do 4 roll boosts towards the zipper. The next strat is actually a big maybe. It's not really necessary for our target sum of best, but I still want to explain it. Single throw leg clip saves a good chunk over the slower setup, but obviously adds even more difficulty to an already annoying trick. Tap the jump button and throw Cappy as usual when you start sliding. Then hold Cappy out, roll and long jump once possible. This is another quite precise window for you to time that input. If you press too early or too late, you will get rewarded with a good reason to go back to cap. Same goes for trying to do the strat after getting a weird clip. In that case, you will never get the long jump as you don't land on the floor. So you probably understand what I'm trying to say. It saves a good amount of time, but whether it is really worth implementing is up to you. Another thing you can try for leg clip is removing the cap stall out of bounds. That's less risky for sure. Now for the movement towards the NPC. When you're around here, do an RCJ to the left, then try to maintain your momentum when running around the corner into the room. If you lose your speed, just talk to the NPC once you're close enough. If you keep your momentum though, you can go for a better spot. If you initiate the dialogue in this area, the camera won't pan, which saves a little bit of time. So always try to end up there. Well, that's it strat-wise. But before ending the video, we're obviously going to look at some invisible timesave. Remember the following questions when you try to optimize this kingdom. Do you cap throw and home in as early as possible to capture the zipper? Do you do a good job on cutting this corner? Do you have a fast leg clip setup and out of bounds? This can be really big. Runners tend to take it really safe. Understandable, but tightening up some inputs doesn't actually add too much difficulty or risk. Do you ground pound as early as possible? For warps, do you zoom out of the map? Do you ground pound close to the wall and swim into the moon as soon as possible? Do you take a straight line towards story? Do you activate the pillar moon on the side where the moon spawns? You want to be as close to the moon as possible while still being able to activate it. At least definitely avoid the pillar with the fish, as hitting it cancels your downwards momentum. Pay attention to all of that and you will shave some more time off your gold. For our SOB goal, the recommended time is a 2:46. And that's it pretty much for Lake. Support means a lot, so feel free to like and share. These are the awesome people that helped with this video. Eden checked the script for mistakes, Flavian recorded clips and decided on strats for all the paces, Lupus wrote the script and edited, and myself who organized, recorded the voiceover and helped with most of the other aspects as well. I'm Danster and I'm gonna prepare my next TED Talk now. See you next time, not in Voted Kingdom as you may expect, but for a special episode.